Alright, so this is a Zed vs Annie mid game, and the team comps are on the blue side we've got Annie, Corky, Lulu, Jarvan, and Olaf, and on the purple side is me, Zed, Blitzcrank, Vi, Ezreal, and Lissandra. Alright, so we're going to start off the game with the standard longsword, 3 health pots, and the yellow trinket. We're just waiting to get out into the field because of the little magical barrier that's been implemented by Riot. Alright, so our runes are, I think we've got the 9 AD marks, 9 armor seals, 6 MR glyphs, and 3 MR per level glyphs, and then we've got 3 armor penetration quintessences, which I prefer the armor penetration quintessences on poke AD champions like Jace and Zed, because they do really nice early game damage and they scale well into the late game. So that's what I choose to take, and for my Masteries I'm going on the 21-9 build. So alright, so here we find Jarvan trying to start off his golem camp. I think, yeah, we don't get the kill on him, which is unfortunate, but we get his flash, which is really good, because Jarvan is a really early aggressive champion because of his E and Q combo, and that will definitely set him behind in terms of early ganks. Alright, so chasing down, here we go, we found Lulu, and everyone missed their skill shots, so we don't get the kill again, but we get another flash, which is good for bot lane, as it'll give them early kill pressure on that Lulu. So that was a worth invade. I mean, it's always good to invade, because 9 times out of 10 your team's going to come out on top, because in solo queue, if you think about it, how often are your teammates AFK at the start of the game, or not in position to protect a buff? So yeah, invading can be really good. So Annie comes to lane a bit late. I assume she was helping Jarvan, maybe. So what you're going to want to do here is to always try and, well, once you get to level 2, you're going to want to try and poke down Annie as much as possible when she comes in for a CS. And that should get you significant pressure in the lane. So I'm about to hit 2 here. So yeah, instantly go for some pressure. You want to be careful of Annie's stun, because if she has it up, then she can trade back fairly well, and probably out-trade you, to be honest. So always try and go in when the stun is down. Like now, you want to try and avoid her as much as possible. So she uses her stun, you can go aggressive again. So you want to watch out about 3 minutes, because Jarvan will be finishing his 2 buffs and will be looking to gank. With junglers like Jarvan though, you should be careful from the first 2 minutes onwards really, because as I was saying, he is a really strong early jungler with his E and Q combo. Alright, so Annie is not really running too much armor, so that's going to be good for me, as I can poke her out lane more effectively. I mean, even if she was, my armor penetration quintessences would help me deal with that fairly well. So that's the first time she's actually used her Q to poke some damage onto me, which is fairly bad for her, because she's just going to get out-traded, and eventually she's going to have to go back to base or get killed, and that will make her lose out on minions. As you can see, I haven't had to go through any of my potions as of yet, which basically means I'm comfortable in the lane. So I see that Jarvan is top, so you can be a bit more aggressive and overextend in the lane, but you always want to be wary if you can't see the enemy jungler, because you can be surprised at any moment. This happened to me quite a lot, so you just gotta be careful. Alright, so the lane's in a good position at the moment. Annie is on half HP and the lane is pushing to my side, which is going to deny her a lot of minions here, if played correctly. So she has a stun up now, which is quite bad, so you want to be careful. And there you go, she wastes it. So if you're Annie there, you want to hold on to your stun, just to create some pressure, because she is in a really bad position. Like, she's losing minions quite a lot. Look, another one about to go down. That one at the back she isn't going to get. So you want to hold your stun just for pressure. She's gonna get this one. Nope. So I put another ward down just to check for Jarvan, because I see that he's not on the map. I think I'm ahead of her in CS, which is obviously great. So she loses another one. So even if you don't get a kill, you can just play like this and deny farm. See, as soon as she looks to come in, trade some damage. Which was quite bad of me there, because she did have a stun up, but she didn't end up using her ability. Okay, so I get level 6. And so level 6 Annie Zed turns into a bit of a skill matchup, because if you ult Annie, she can ult you as soon as you land and negate all your damage, and of course burst you down. But alternatively, if you ult Annie whilst her Q, for instance, is coming towards you, you can avoid the stun completely and 100 to 0 her. So it's quite an interesting lane once you hit level 6. So I go back here and get Brutalizer, and the reason for that is because it's just going to increase my poke damage basically. You want to get Cutlass if you're against a poke heavy champion and you're falling behind in lane, because it's going to give you some sustain. But as you've seen, Annie is not poking me at all, she's just using her Q to farm, which means I can just go more offensive. So I drop another ward just to check out for Jarvan. I think that was a green ward I bought, yeah. So that's another thing, you always want to buy a ward when you go back to base, or try to. It just helps your team and keeps you safe for 3 minutes, which is worth it for 75 gold. So you see there, Annie used her E, and I did basically 0 damage there. So if you play it right, you can definitely avoid most of the damage from Zed. Oh, I missed that one. Sad times. That's okay though. Tradition is the cause of wisdom. So Annie's playing extremely passive now, which is good for me. Because again, our lane's pushing in. Oh, it isn't anymore. I am in the darkness. So she's got to start looking for to use her ult maybe. So I use my ult and at the worst time possible because Jarvan's here, and I end up dying. I could have avoided that, but I misplayed a bit because I wasted my flash. I should have waited for him to use his EQ combo and then flash, but I ended up flashing before, which is not too good, but it's okay. I'm still way far ahead, and Jarvan ended up getting that kill. And this gives me a perfect amount of gold to get my Cutlass, which is really good. So my team's destroying at the moment, which is really good because you don't want to be the only one doing well on your team. So you can, once you get to this point, you can kind of relax. Gotta get the cannon minion. Every time you've gotta get 3 normal minions. Whoa. Balance is weakness. Killing spree. Alright, so the team gets another kill. Poor Jarvan.
No technique is forbidden.
See, hey, this is a really bad position by Annie. She ends up flashing. Even though I was turning back.
The truth lies in darkness.
So if I wants to dive, so I'm just gonna. She asked me to push up lane, so just gonna push the lane as fast as possible.
Secrets.
And he's dead again. Just as easy as that, literally. So now you can either look to roam, or you can carry on pushing down the mid lane. And I choose to carry on pushing because the bot lane wasn't in lane, so going down to bot is risky because they might not ever show up while you're down there, and it would just be a waste of time. So it's better to just get the tower. And here Vi doesn't see Jarvan, I don't think, so I just warn her that he's going up to top. They end up fighting. I don't know who wins this, but Vi just runs away. Alright, so now you can see Jarvan's top. Olaf, I think, died. Annie is stuck mid farming, and bot lane's pushing in. So this is an easy decision. Just roam down bottom, pick up 2 kills, 3 pretty much. This fight's closer than it should have been, but in the end we end up getting double kill, which is really nice. So Annie's pushing in mid, so you just want to head back to mid, soak up their minions. If I want to do dragon, but yeah, I'm not going to wait around there. Annie's pushing in mid. Head back to mid. Okay, I'm really far ahead of Annie now, and I'm starting to put pressure on the map, whereas she is really not doing anything. So you gotta kill the scuttler. Get that vision for your team. And that speed buff, it's pretty good. Saved me a few times. So run evade again. Vi picks up another kill here. And at this point, the game's just snowballed out of control. There's gonna be really hard for them to make a comeback. So Vi looks to dive there and tell her to back off because Annie has a stun up and we don't know where Olaf or Jarvan is. But you want to avoid making rash plays like that because sometimes they can swing a game and there's no need for it. So just recall in front of Jarvan, no problem. Get the Blade of Ruin King, get boots. Alright, so at this stage you just want to keep the pressure up. So your whole team's ahead, 12 to 3 in kills, and you just want to keep pressure and pressure and pressure in the map. And really you want to ask your support to start warding their jungle and just go straight into their jungle, take everything, keep fighting, because you should win every team fight at this point. Like, a lot of supports don't really know this, but it's really good. Once your team gets a bit ahead, just start roaming into the enemy jungle and put wards down. It's going to really help your team out. And you'll notice that once you have vision in there, your team will start going in and invading and stuff by themselves. So Annie starts roaming down to bottom here, so I just followed her, and there she is. Well, I thought she was, and she was. I kind of mess up here, but it doesn't really matter since we're so far ahead. And Annie doesn't do enough damage to kill me in one combo, so once Annie gets to that point, you know the game's pretty much over. So we pick up another few kills there, and I go back and get pickaxe. Yeah, so from here, this game is pretty much done and dusted. My team's just playing around now. But
Brave the shadows.
Yeah.
Find the truth.
You just gotta keep pressuring, because I have seen games like this turn around and it's it's not good. Because this game should be completely over at this point.
Weakness.
But say like in bronze ELO, silver ELO, people just keep making doing silly things. And for instance, if you're playing against, let's say, Vayne AD carry, and you're this far ahead at this point, and yeah, you should just keep pressuring, because Vayne's games were into late game, so you don't want to let it get into late game. It's just obvious. I mean, our team scales pretty well, so even if it does go to late game, we're probably still going to be pretty far ahead. So yeah, I'm literally not worried at all about this game at the moment. So we're going to just keep farming and keep powering up. Surprised that we haven't taken dragon yet. That's, like, normally when you get a few kills, you just want to instantly go and take dragon, since it's such a big priority now. It's so powerful. But yeah, I prefer to take the Scuttler. Gotta keep that vision up. Alright, so I think we're looking for another fight here. Alright, yeah, I just have to turn in, leave my team, just go back and defend mid. Just don't want to let them get a free tower. So I noticed that Annie had a stun up, so I didn't really want to fight her, even though I probably could.
Truth lies in darkness.
There's a saying he wants to force a dragon fight, which is a good idea at this point. So Olaf comes down. I think this is the first team fight we're gonna have. So they're extremely far behind, so got a good hook by Glyphs. I didn't notice that Annie had Zonias, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, but pick up ace? Do we? No, I think we'll be this way. But we get 4 kills on nothing and get the dragon. So, oh, yeah, we can get the ace. So 20 kills to 5. Yeah. This game has snowballed way out of control. That's why you want to play Zed as well. He's extremely strong at snowballing games. Because, like any assassin is really. So you can play Fizz, Zed, and they're gonna have the same effect. Actually,
tradition is the corpse of
the joys of solo queue. Easy to snowball on assassins.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Kill another Scuttler. Oh yeah, it's good to kill the Scuttlers as well if you have life still, because it's gonna heal you back up for free basically, since they don't do any damage.
Do not fear the shrouded path.
Just go back to farming here. Finish mid. And go back and finish Last Whisper, I think. It's like the core build for Zed. Like,
An enemy has been slain.
most times you'll be going for this build. The only time you want to deviate is against really, if you're really far behind against a AP burst mage, then you probably want to get a Hex Drinker. But yeah, apart from that, this is a pretty good build. I would advise like you follow it.
Secrets kept, our weapons wasted.
With the brutalizer though, you can build that into whatever you like. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, this is the build you want to go for. The white takes blue, which is quite annoying. Although I don't really mind at this point. Blue is pretty good on Zed though. Just takes away that clunky feeling of having no energy. So we're looking for another fight. And yep, we are team fighting again. So this isn't going too well, and this is what I mean. This is a solo queue fight for you. The team just charging in, YOLO mode. But we're so far ahead. It really doesn't matter. Just have to get some nice ult. Send up Olaf here, because yeah, I can't get to any of their backline. And we instantly kill him. We just want to get the tower down. Just having some fun now. Glyphs. And another kill.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Tradition is the corpse of wisdom.
So yeah, now we just want to clear out the enemy jungle, take all of their stuff, and yeah, just keep an eye on them basically. Just keep them behind until we can force another dragon fight, force another baron fight, siege. But yeah, at this point, this game is pretty much done. This is just a good example of a controlled game, because we have controlled this game pretty well. As I say that, let's get a kill, so it's alright. Not important trade, not bad. And yeah, there you go, the enemy team surrenders, and that's the game. Thanks for watching, and bye.